Hey YouTube, it's gonna be another Megan Meier video. Alright, so I'm gonna go into a little history about this little story. So Megan Meier was born in November 6, 1992. I was born January 19th, 1992. So we were the same age, just 10 months apart. She was about to turn 14 before she killed herself. Alright. It was 3 weeks before her birthday. And then she this is really sad because she had a mom, a dad, and a sister. That's what makes it worse, is she had a little sister who loved her, and now she's without us. Now her sister is just with her mother, but there's no Megan there anymore. That's what's really sad. And from the 3rd grade, she told her mother she had wanted to kill herself, and Megan had been under a psychiatrist, had been prescribed to some antidepressants, which I wouldn't take if my life depended on it ever again. I do take medication. I take melatonin to get some sleep easier. Excuse me. I also do take vitamin D to get the depression down. I wish I would have known about that sooner and would have known about Megan back then. I would have given that to her, and she probably would have been cleared of depression. She was 3 weeks shy of her 14th birthday, and she was also going to get her braces taken off. You know what? She did have a very beautiful smile. And then she had been diagnosed with attention deficit disorder and depression, and had self-esteem issues. And regarding her weight, people made fun of her. She was described as her parents as a bubbly, goofy girl who enjoyed spending time with her friends and family. You know what? That's really beautiful what Megan did. That she enjoyed spending time with her friends and family. But killing herself is the really sad part. Someone said suicide is a selfish thing. But hey, Megan wanted to be free of the pain. You can't blame her. Megan, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's these assholes' fault. It's Lori Drew's fault. And it's Ashley Girl's fault. And I guess Sarah is to blame too. And Megan Meier attended public schools, including some kind of elementary school and some Fort Summit Western Middle School in nearby O'Fallon, Missouri. For 8th grade, her parents enrolled her into a Catholic school, which I think was a big turning point for Megan, because I heard she was way more happier. And they thought that the policy requiring uniforms and prohibiting makeup and jewelry might help Megan fit in, because she wanted to fit in with people. I was the same way. I tried so hard to fit in, and I didn't fit in until high school. If you want to know why, it's because I was a loser back in the day. I had autism, so I had suicidal thoughts ever since middle school. I wanted to shoot myself in the head. And one time, some kid said that I said I was going to shoot him, but then they finally proved to him that I said I was going to shoot myself in the head, you know? And I've been that way. I was that way for a long time. And then last year I took a whole bunch of antidepressants and swallowed them. Took them all and drank them down with water so I wouldn't choke. I could have died there in my kitchen when my mom saw me. I didn't pass out though. And then she opened up a MySpace account, and she received a message from supposedly a 16-year-old boy, which was a hoax. It was Josh Evans, and they became friends, and he would flirt with her. He would say that she was beautiful. Your eyes are beautiful. You would look good in anything, my princess. And he didn't have a phone number, and he didn't have internet, so he was using someone else's, which is kind of suspicious. And then he was registered on the account. They found the picture on Google, and then Lori drew, the mother, Sarah, drew a former friend of Megan, later admitted creating the MySpace account. At the time of the suicide, the Drew families were neighbors of the Meiers. They were 4 houses away from them. And Lori was aided by Sarah and by Ashley as an 18-year-old employee of Lori, and several others hoaxed the account. And they testified that the woman indeed used Myers, that the woman intended to use Myers' messages to send to Josh and get information about her and later humiliate her and spreading gossip. They were wondering if she was spreading gossip about Lori's daughter Sarah. What they should have done is just leave Megan alone and let her live her life, but they didn't. Poor Megan hung herself. And then Josh said, I don't know if I want to be friends with you anymore, because I've heard you're not very nice to your friends, or I don't want to be friends with you, I heard you're not a nice person, or the world would be a better place without you, have a shitty rest of your life, or something like that. And Megan said, you're the kind of boy a girl would kill herself over. And then they made Josh, aka Stupid Lori, aka Bitch Ashley Grill, aka Hella Ugly Lori Drew, and aka Bitch Sarah. They all posted all this stuff about Megan. They did whatever you call they did a survey. Do you think Megan Meier, and people said, whore, Megan Meier's a fat ass, Megan Meier's a slut, Megan Meier is a fat pig. And I think she fired back and said, I'm not these things, you're these things, fuck you, or something like that. I think she said something similar to that, and her mother was shocked by the kind of language she was using. And she kind of raised her voice at her daughter, and then she said, you're supposed to be my mom, you're supposed to be on, you're my mom, you're supposed to be on my side, or something like that. And then she ran upstairs and hung herself, and her mom found her 20 minutes later. 20 minutes later, she got an awful feeling and found Megan hanging in her closet, and called 911. And then Blaine, like brother of Megan, came and started performing CPR on her to save her life, but it didn't work. She passed away the next day, but she had a slight pulse, like right here. Blaine was a lifeguard, and he was performing CPR on her, and she had a slight pulse on the way to the hospital, but she died the next day. Excuse me. And I don't even know, but they found the messages to Josh Evans, but then they were looking for it, but then the message was deleted and the account was deleted. I'm gonna go see if I can find out more information about this. I'm gonna go see. And they said she was a great girl, that she would actually stand up for other people and defend them and ask, why are you bullying them or something. That she would always care about other people. But poor Megan didn't deserve this at age 13. It's just unacceptable. And Sarah and Lori are both not attractive at all. Come on, if I would have been in charge of O'Fallon, Missouri, if I would have been something, I would have stood up to Lori and had her sentenced to jail for life. She should have gotten life in jail, and they said because Megan was such a beautiful girl, and they humiliated her for no reason. They caused her this is what happened. Now I know more about Megan, and it says his name was Josh Evans. He was 16, and she said, Mom, look at him. That's what she said. And then Josh had contacted Megan through MySpace.com, the page, and told her daughter, and Tina asked, do you know who she is? Or, whoops, do you know who he is? Do you know who he is? And she said, no, but look at him, he's hot. Please, Mom, please, can I add him? And she said yes. And for 6 weeks she was so happy that someone thought this of her. But what makes me sad is it wasn't even a real kid. It was it was 3 other people who were girls. It was all a woman, a girl, and another girl. 2 youngins and someone else. And it said, and Josh said he was from a broken home. When he was 7, his dad left him, and his mom and older brother, and he was a newborn brother, 3 boys. I know, my poor mom, yeah, she had a hard time when we left finding work and pay for us all after he left. My dad left me when I was 2 months old, so yeah, it was really rough for us too. So I know, but that's a fake thing. And they said Megan, the name, M is for modern, E is for enthusiastic, G is for goofy, A is for alluring, N is for neglected. So Megan loved swimming, boating, fishing, dogs, rap music, and boys, but her life had not always been easy, her mother says. You know, I do like fishing, like Megan. I do like to hang out with friends. I do enjoy cooking a little bit. I'm more of a baker, though, than a cooker. I love baking. I love to do all that. And Megan was heavy. She was kind of a heavy girl and tried to lose weight. She had attention deficit disorder and battled depression. Back in 3rd grade, she had talked about suicide. And she had seen a therapist. But things were going exceptionally well. She had said 20 pounds, getting down to 175. 195. I'm about 240. I gotta lose it. 250, 240. Yeah, the bottom of my stomach has started to shrink a little bit. The very bottom. She was 5'5.5". She had just started 8th grade at a new, what should we call it? I can't pronounce the name of the school. It was a Catholic school. This was the public school she went to. I gotta use Google Translate for this.
Fort Samwell Public School. Fort Samwell Public School.
So Zumwalt before that. And people had taunted her, and she decided to end a friendship with a girl who lived down the street from them. The girls had spent so much time in 7th grade, alternate between being friends and the next day not being friends. That's what Tina said. It's like friends one day and not friends the other day. It was like in 4th grade they were friends, and in 5th grade they weren't. Or in 4th grade they became friends. So they hung out 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and in 7th grade they clashed a lot. And part of the reason and Megan would always rush to the computer and ask to be signed into MySpace so she could talk with Josh because she loved him. And Josh never asked for Megan's phone number, and Megan asked. He said he did not have a cell, and his mother did not yet have a landline. And then on October 15th, 2006, he said, "I don't want to be friends with you. I heard you're not very nice to your friends." And she said, "What are you talking about?" And it said, like, and it seems like Megan and the girl down the block, the former friend, had once created a fake MySpace account using a photo of a good-looking girl to talk to boys. Yeah, and all that. And then she hung herself after she got, because she said Tina told Megan to sign out, and she said, "I will, Mom, let me finish up." And then Tina said, "Did you sign off?" "No, Mom, they're so mean to me." "You're not listening to me." Megan signed off. 15 minutes later, Megan called her mother, and she was in tears. And she said, "I'm aggravated at you for doing this." And she said, You're supposed to be my mom. You're supposed to be on my side." And then she hung herself, and Ron grabbed her and said, "I told her it's okay. They obviously don't know her, and that would be fine." But she hung herself, and I just think it's very sad that you have to do this to a poor innocent 13-year-old girl. How could you do that to a girl who had her whole life ahead of her? You know, Megan, if you're watching this from heaven, you're an angel. You had a lot of beauty, and you don't need to worry. That family was just a bunch of pricks, and you deserve love, and you will have it for the rest. Wherever you are, you're an angel. You're beautiful, very pretty girl. You're much more gorgeous than Sarah. I don't think Sarah's gorgeous at all, but this is what I researched. It says right here, Lori Drew's daughter, Megan, or Lori Drew's daughter, Sarah. The reason I said Megan is because it said Lori Drew's daughter, Sarah, is devastated by friend's suicide but doesn't feel responsible. It says the 16-year-old daughter, this was 3 years later, of a woman on trial in the MySpace suicide, broke into tears on Friday in a hushed courtroom as she testified the teen girl committed suicide in 2006 after being bullied online. She told her twice that she wanted to kill herself and told no one at the time about her. And it seems like she was devastated. And Megan, life isn't easy. And Tina, if you ever come across this, and Allison and Ron, I'm all sorry for what you three had to suffer through. You know, Allison, the sister, I'm sorry you lost your sister. Your sister, I bet you and your sister were great. Were great together. And Tina, having Megan be a goofy girl and giggling a lot, I know you'll miss that. And Ron, you know, I bet you're devastated by this as well, because you had 2 daughters and they're both beautiful. And I feel bad for what Megan had to go through. Megan was beautiful. It's about what's on the outside, it's more what's on the inside that counts. And Megan, may you rest in peace. Here's my toast to you. Here's another one. I'll toast to you more when I get to it. And I hope that if I go up to heaven, which I probably will because I'm a very nice guy usually, I hope to meet you, Megan, and that we'd sit down together and have a talk together and be friends. Thank you all for watching. Stay up to date and subscribe. Stay tuned for some more Megan Meier videos. I'm going to make a lot more with her. Alright, bye. Peace.